Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 27 of the Sam Hossack Media Podcast. Very special guest today. Um, he is a photographer, assistant to a main guy with the Toronto Maple Leafs, has covered some World Juniors, and worked in the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Please welcome Kevin Sousa.
What's going on? How's everyone doing?
So, Kevin, you started in the OJHL years ago. Talk about that and how you really got into photography from your opportunity with the OJHL.
Yeah, started, man, I'm trying to think, about 7 years ago. Just to give you some background, I'm a high school teacher. And basically, midlife crisis kind of thing, I guess. I decided to become my goal, midlife crisis. Walked into class, long story short, walked in my class. It was sort of like at that point where I was teaching. I was already 15 years into my career, pretty much, and I was like a little bit bored. So I said to my kids, my goal is to become a sports photographer and to take photographs of Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm Portuguese background, big soccer fan. Actually, I've never skated my entire life. I don't even know how to skate. Played a lot of road hockey as a kid, being Canadian, like those who can't skate, played road hockey. So I did that. Anyways, so you have to start somewhere. And I was like sitting with my students and I said, okay, this is, you got to start somewhere. You got to like volunteer your time. You got to pick up the equipment. So I invested in equipment and we sat there and we like discussed, because I'm a business teacher also. So it was like this idea of like taking risk, as anyone who starts a business, there's always that risk element. And so teaching business is different than being involved in a business. So I was trying to outlay my plan with them and et cetera, et cetera. And that's where all of a sudden I started to look around, see for opportunities to take photographs. And I saw someone post something about OJHL. And I think I contacted Tim Bates at the OJHL director of photography and started volunteering my time, man. I just basically started off, signed up with those guys and started going to basically I'm in the West End, so I just concentrated on the West End, like Georgetown Raiders, Oakville Blades, where I pretty much spent most of my time. And that's how it sort of started, picked up a camera, picked up a lens, and then I remember going to my first OJHL training session, and that's sort of where it all started. My son at the time was also, he's like 5 or 6. He was just starting hockey. And so, I just decided I want to take some photographs. And being a high school teacher, I've taken photographs before of sports. We have equipment at school. It's not the greatest stuff, but I've done video production for the school, and I've done some photography for them, etc. And I've taken that basic knowledge, and with Tim's help and the guys from the OJHL images, hone my skills with the different programs. Like I'm sure you've been using Photo Mechanic and the captioning and all that kind of stuff. And that's sort of where it all started, really. All that, that particular experience got it going. Yeah. So that's basically it.
Absolutely. And you had some experience with the World Juniors as well. As a Canadian, how amazing was it to be at a tournament like that, covering the top tournament at Christmas time?
It was pretty cool. It was good. It was an experience. It was awesome. It was like, they give you a kit. You're a volunteer. They give you a kit. They give you a schedule. And through that experience, I met some people in the industry, like Matt Rhodes from the OMHA, who I do a lot of work for, the Ontario Hockey Association. Lucas from the CFL. Like I met a lot of cool people that were in the industry. So, and then covering hockey, I mean, we were like sort of like the social media crew. We weren't really we weren't like supplying them with a lot of game action stuff initially. But as the tournament went on, we supplied more and more. I thought they saw the quality was pretty good. So we, I'm not sure if the big thing in hockey is the photo hole. And we really never had a shot at the photo holes because they were given to press, right? The team the tournament photographers from the IIHF, they were given 2 holes on either side. So, when you're there, it was cool, but you're always sort of from afar. You're always taking photographs of the section 108, which is whatever. Like if you ever get into a Leaf game, basically most photographers start off in 108, which is just below the camera main cameras. So, anyways, it was cool. It was good. I got to see a gold medal game. Canada won. Made some good photographs from above, way up high. I basically, like I had the ability to, because I had one of the things that I brought to that tournament was a 400 millimeter 2.8 Canon when I was shooting Canon at the time, and it really allowed me to take photographs from above and get in tight. So I think my favorite photograph from that particular tournament was of, I think, Fusili. I think his last name is, and if I got it wrong, my apologies to him. But when the goaltender scored, when the goaltender scored, when Canada claimed the gold medal, he threw up his gloves, and I was in, I forget what section, 328, way up high, and I was like dead center with him, and I just like picked him off, and he just like, gloves go up, pile up ensues, got some good photographs. I was quite happy with it, even though I was way up in the nosebleeds at the time.
Absolutely. And the last few years, you've worked closely with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Obviously, they're a top
Mhm.
team in the NHL this year. Just talk about the honor it is to cover a team like the Maple Leafs.
The honor, yeah, it's an honor. It is. It's cool. It's cool. I mean, like you get to see McDavid, you've seen Marner up close, you've seen Jumbo and Simmons and all these guys, and yeah, it's super cool. It's been I think I've been with them for the last 5 years. So I'm part of the photo team there, and it is sometimes you get those moments in life where you like you have to like pinch yourself, like can't believe I'm here, kind of moments. But even if it is cool, I'm not gonna say it's not, but it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of I think a lot of people, and like as most of, I'm not sure if anyone knows, but I'm pretty sure you do. If you follow sports photography and hockey and the Leafs, you probably know the name Mark Blench. He's a team photographer, and I'm just always like, it's amazing how much work they put in, like how much work he puts into it, and how much time and effort and like it's just not picking up a camera, right? We got remote cameras, we got all this stuff to make great images, and it's amazing, like to see how much work it actually goes into it in the planning. I was totally shocked when I first started with a team, how like that level of photography is just like it just like going to the rink with OGHL is good. It's great. Get there early, right? Take some photographs of the behind the scenes stuff, which I enjoy. Uh, and you got your two cameras, maybe one camera, whatever your setup may be. But when you get to the next level, it's like three cameras, remote cameras, pre-planning, sitting around trying to figure out what's going to happen, storylines. NHL sends us a shot list every day before the game. So I mean, it is an honor, but at the same time, it's like everything, right? Like it becomes it's not a job, like it's a job that you enjoy, but it's work, right? It's tough. It's not that simple sometimes, but it is pretty cool. There are the moments where you're just like, wow, this is a Toronto Maple Leafs.
Absolutely. And what are some of your favorite shots that you've gotten over the years of some of the big names on the Leafs?
Oh man. Memorable shots, man. I think you know what? I'm terrible with my memory's bad, but I know it was a playoff game. It was McDavid, not McDavid, sorry, my apologies. I'm like killing it here. I'm a little bit nervous here. Anyways, my first year with the guys with the Leafs, and like when I went there, it was like a tryout. It was like, you're always nervous about screwing up and all that kind of stuff. And playoff time is super hyped. Like you got to be really on your game. And it was Austin Matthews. He scored against Boston. It wasn't the winner or anything like that, but it was a goal that he was in a drought. Like the guy was like not scoring, and all of a sudden, I'm in the I'm in the photo hole on the side. Like I'm not, like there's two. There's one on the side that we call deep. Anyways, I'm on the side, so really all I have is my viewpoint is of the net from the side, right? Which is not the best hole, by the way. The other one's the better one. But anyways, he literally pops one in and he swings around and he comes right at me, and he's doing this whole like, like that arm thing, and I'm just like just drilling like, every frame I can get out of the camera. I tried, because especially when they come at you, the focus, the AF is not as good, and I was using like maybe a 1DX at the time, like something like older technology. Anyways, comes flying at me, and I'm like, holy smokes, do I have it? That's the thing, right? Like, because when it's so quick, you're like, oh my god, do I have it? And then when I looked at that screen, man, the back of the screen, I had at least a few frames in focus, and I was like, just like super stoked, because I was like, wow, like it was like there weren't that many moments of it. Like it was like I think it was his first year with the Leafs, and there wasn't like that many great moments and great photographs of him celebrating at the time. So, I got it, and I was like, holy smokes, it was sweet. And it ended up on the cover of Hockey News, that photograph. So that was probably the one that I remember being like the big one at the beginning. But I also had like photographs like that I like personally. There's been some like a lot of cool ones behind the scenes, like I don't know, like ones that have good stories. Like first year again, I was at the outdoor game, and all of a sudden Mark calls me over. He's like, "Hey, can you take a picture?" And I'm like, "Okay." And it's like him, Matthews, and Hyman, and it's outdoor game. You got the big venue and signage in the back. So that was a pretty cool photograph of the three of those guys. If you look at Marner's Instagram handle, is actually my photograph from above of that one is a memorable photograph. I was basically told by the NHL to roam, where I could just go where the hell I wanted. And I noticed right where the players were coming out. I literally, and I have to give, Blinch told me to go there too. He's like, go above the actual exit and entrance of where they're coming out, the tunnel kind of idea. And so I got up above right before the game starts. And I have no idea, man. I'm just standing there, and I sort of framed it up, got what I wanted like to look at, what was like anticipation of what was going to happen, what I wanted out of the photograph. And all of a sudden, man, it's just the flares come out, and it's like boom, confetti and like that dry smoke or whatever. And I'm like getting hit with the stuff, and it's coming right in my face, and I'm just start firing, and I'm hoping my focus hits, because obviously anything that's in front of your lens will throw off your AF. And I got Marner coming out, I got Matthews coming out, and they looked really cool because there's some lighting below. It sort of like lit up some of the whatever the smoke was and all that kind of jazz. So those are a couple of memorable photographs for sure. They're like, it's been 5 years, so I was actually looking at a few a little while ago. I was going through my database, and it was like, wow, like you forget about a lot of the photographs that you've taken over the years, but those are a few for sure. That playoff hockey is always big. Anytime you can get a playoff, any kind of celebration, right? When they score in any kind of playoff game is pretty good. I got last year. One of my favorites from last year was Marner, the game winner against what was it? I think it was Carolina, and he swung across, like he scored the game winner, and he comes flying, and I'm down, like I'm looking at him down the ice, and he just puts out like the airplane kind of move. And I was shooting strobes that night, and strobes is a different beast compared to available light, where you get like 20 frames a second. Like strobes is like literally, and you get one frame, boom. Like you just got to hit it, and before the strobe actually replenishes itself, you might get another. It's like half a second sometimes. So that moment can be gone if you're on strobes. And strobes it's great. Pictures look better. Like pictures look amazing when they're hit when you strobe them. But when he came through, I saw him, and he had this big smile on his face. Obviously, it's before any players got there, and it was like clean. And I nailed it. And he might have hit two pops. And when I looked at the back of the screen, he's just like bang on, man. Big smile, like it was like peak action. So yeah, those are the kind of memorable photographs that I've taken in the last few years for sure. And besides the ones in the back, like we did, there's so many photographs, but those are some of the big ones for sure.
For sure. And before we get kind of into this season, last season, season starts, and then there's that huge break between games from basically March all the way up until August when the season starts again. So, as a photographer, what was the kind of energy you had going back into the rink after if you got back in for playoffs? Like, how do you adjust to not being at the rink for 5 months after being there? 3 days a week.
Yeah, it's quite the adjustment to the bank account, let me tell you. It's like it was tough. It was tough. Like we were like season was going well, everything was going, we were all synced up and ready to go, and playoffs were just around the corner, and just pulled from like the rug was pulled from you, and it was tough. It was tough, and there was like what's going to happen, et cetera, and like the whole idea of the bubble. Like, was I getting in the bubble? Was it, was I going to be out of the bubble? Eventually, I was out. Like, I wasn't not in the bubble at all. They brought in some photographers from the States, and Mark Blinch. He shot right, and like that experience alone, like wow, those guys who lasted that long, it's incredible, because that's a long time to be away from your family. But yeah, it was tough. And then, then we got word that, we got a phone call that we're back for this season that just, at the beginning of whatever it was, October, I think. I forget even now. Like, it was just like, it was sweet to be back. It was nice to be back. It's not the same setup because of COVID. Obviously, a lot of protocol. We have to be tested every single day. There's like, it is different. We don't get to take photographs behind the scenes anymore. We're not even near the players. Like, we are stationed in a suite in this 200 section, like 200 level, and our photo room, all our stuff, we had to take out of that particular room, and now we're sort of like in this makeshift kind of home, and it's tough. It's tough, but I mean, it's nice to be back, obviously, to watch some hockey. So, and the hockey's been good. It's been real good. So happy to be back.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, this year you're getting some amazing shots from what I've seen on your Instagram. You've got some amazing ones of Campbell, Matthews,
Thank you.
Thornton. So, just talk about capturing those and how kind of how it is to have to adjust this year in a different setting where you're not really allowed to roam around and get the different angles.
Yeah, so the way it's working right now is half the rink, like my traditional spot is TV side. It's been occupied. We can't go there anymore. It's basically on one side of the rink where benches is basically you have I forget, team media. So the Leaf social media team, and you can't talk to them. You can literally, like, they're like a level 1, whatever level they're using, and they're like quarantined, semi-quarantined. They're like, whatever they call it, makeshift bubble. And so we're only allowed to shoot from certain sections. There's only, out of 8 photo holes, I think we have 3, and 3 that are actually usable. So team photographer gets 1, and then we have Getty on one side, and then we have the other one that rotates between the other press outlets. So it's different shooting from above, that's for sure. I'm like been shooting 108, and I've been roaming around the rink trying to get new angles. It is nice not to, like, because no fans, I don't have to deal with, like, I can sit wherever I want, any seat. I don't have to negotiate with the fan to ask to sit somewhere for a certain angle. So that's been pretty interesting. It's been different. We've been able to set up remote cameras along the boards, behind the net, above the net. And this is mostly Mark's been doing that kind of stuff. But I've been able to set up my own remotes in certain spots that I would never, ever be able to, and probably will never be able to do it again. So we're looking at some new angles. So it's some have been good, right? Some have been like not as good. Like I've done, I put one behind, I don't know, it was like a face off. It didn't turn out well, right? I tried. But anyways, yeah, new angles. You get a new opportunity, you get to roam around between periods. We like it's different. Like it's been good and bad, but right now we were trying out new angles, get to do new things that we'll probably never get to do again. But besides that, most of the stuff is very similar to last year, where as soon as we get into a photo hole, it's the same kind of photograph that you see most of the time.
Absolutely, and we'll have some fun questions here before we wrap up. But
Sure,
obviously,
man.
the Leafs are having a
Let me relax a little bit.
tremendous year. So, what are your expectations for the Leafs going into playoffs?
I expect them to win. I expect them to seriously go very, very far. Yeah, they look like they're having fun. Like, when you see them, and they just look like they're always having fun. I mean, winning is obviously if you win, you're gonna have fun, right? Like, but I don't know. It seems there's something about these guys. I think they're gonna go far. I think they like each other. I think they, they're really. I think they. I believe, I guess, in my opinion, that when it comes to playoff time, like when one guy gets his ice time reduced, I don't think they're gonna care too much about that as long as they're winning and supporting their teammates. I think it's all about the big W and moving on to the next round. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping they go far.
Yeah, obviously the last couple of years they haven't had some of the big name guys like Simmons and that around that been kind of tough.
Yeah, the
Look
vintage
at
line. The
Yeah, like
vintage line
that
is
that
like,
line is insane. Like you look
yeah,
at you look at that line and the stat they put on TV every night is there's only one guy on that line that has 12 games played in the NHL and he's the only one to score over 130 points in the CHL and it's not Thornton or Svetsson. That would shock a lot of people with the 2,800 games between the three of them for that line for sure. But
yeah. Spencer, man, he looks like he's like reinvented his career. But yeah, they look good. They just look good, and they just like I said, man, they look like they like each other. Something about it. I think when a team really is like they seem more like they're friends almost. They'll go to the nth degree to help their buddy out, kind of idea. Where you can see how teams, if they don't like each other, it might be like, hey, it's all about me and my numbers, my stats, whatever. This team, I think, is really unique. I think they're all on the same page, pushing. So we'll see.
Absolutely, and obviously, I mean, the last couple of years, Dubas has made some good moves at deadlines and stuff, but this year it
Mm.
was absolutely insane getting Hutton, Reddick, and Foligno. Like those three moves are kind of
Yeah,
what's definitely pushing them over the top right now.
Felino, we get to see Felino for the first time on Thursday. He's been on the road with the team, so that'll be a big deal. We'll have to get him in blue because all he's been photographed so far is in white. So I'm sure we'll get lots of good photos of him hopefully doing something.
It's too bad he's not bringing his dad's old helmet back. That would have been
Oh, that'd
a
be
great
cool, man.
photo.
I love the old hat though. The
Oh
old
yeah,
hat. So that's pretty cool. I like the old hat. It's awesome. So yeah, it's Felino will be like he'll be. I think he's gonna drive the bus, man. That maybe third, second line. I'm not sure where to put him, but and listen, I don't know a lot about hockey, man. I hate to say it, but I'm a soccer guy through and through. Like I played competitive soccer as a kid. I mean, I've watched at least all my life from afar. And if it wasn't for the OJHL, like I would never have gotten back. Like in my son playing hockey, I guess those two things brought me back to the game or like introduced me to the game. So now I'm no expert, let me tell you, but I know what makes a good photograph at least when it comes to a hockey photograph.
for sure. And finally, before I wrap up here, there's been a discussion the last little while. Obviously, the Olympics next year. You've seen Zach Hyman his whole career in Toronto. Do you believe Zach Hyman has enough in him to make the Canadian Olympic team?
Oh man, I'm gonna be a homer and say yes. I think Hyman should be there. I think he could help out any line that he's on. You've seen sort of his stats and what he does. Everyone loves to play with Hyman. So yeah, I can see him there. Why not? He's that kind of guy. He can help any line score a goal. So yeah, I would like to see him. We'll see what happens though. Should be interesting.
Absolutely. Obviously, for the first time in 8 years, the NHL players look like they're coming back to the Olympics. So I mean, you've got Crosby, McDavid, Marner, all those guys that are
Ah,
walk-ins kind of be there. But I mean, kind of biased, obviously, as a huge Leaf fan. But I think Hyman, he deserves it. Third, fourth line guy on that team. I mean, he's not going to be a top six guy, but like he's got the skill. He's obviously doing it with the Leafs. Unfortunately, being hurt right now, but yeah,
yeah.
gotta that's gotta suck for him. But I mean, he's proven it year after year with the Leafs that he can do everything.
Yeah, I'm just trying to envision what that team would look like, and it's like all I can think of is stacked.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
wow, could you imagine all the players who are Canadian? Holy smokes, it's
yeah,
just incredible. That'd be
like
pretty impressive. I was just like,
20,
imagine a McDavid Marner line. Wow, all
yeah.
right.
2010 and 2014 were stacked enough already, but you get all
Oh,
these extra guys that are in here, like McDavid's in his prime still. You got
yeah.
Marner who's tearing it up. I mean,
Oh, McKinnon.
yeah, McKinnon, all
Oh
like
my God.
so many good Canadians. Kale McCarr's unbelievable. He's going to be a top
Yeah.
defenseman on that team. Like
Yeah.
you still
He
got like Weber who can get there. Like it's insane.
It is insane when you think about it. Who would play net though? I'm trying to think. Is it
Yeah,
gonna be Price?
like
Ooh.
you got Price, but he's kind of like gone downhill last few years, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like it's kind of tough. Like you got
Who's next in line? Oh, Hellebuck?
yeah, Hellebuck.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'd be a
he's a giant though.
yeah coming
He's
off
good.
a coming off a Vesna win. You gotta definitely give him a serious look and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, I think it would be him for sure. Yeah, I can't yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. That's next year, right? Or
yeah.
yeah, next year.
Supposed to be
Yeah.
hopefully if COVID goes away, they'll still have an Olympics because we need something to keep us occupied as hockey fans.
And I think for sure we'll have it. It'd be interesting though. It'd be like the American team will be interesting too. They got some good players.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. Obviously, Matthews is going to be a key contributor to that team, and obviously you got to cheer
mhm.
for him as a Leaf fan, but we don't want him winning the gold.
Oh yeah, Marner versus Matthews.
Yeah, that would be insane to see to finally after 5 years of playing together, they finally get to play against each other in
Because I covered that what was that World Championship? I forgot what they called it. Remember the one? It was like a makeshift championship with the funny looking trophy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because Matthews and Connor McDavid and Matthews were on the same line, and I know I took a photograph of those two guys on the bench that gets used quite a bit, and I didn't see Marner anywhere. So I wonder he obviously didn't make the Canadian team, and I don't think he played on that. I think they called the North American team.
yeah. I don't think he was at that World
Yeah,
Championships. Like,
must have been maybe. Yeah, he may have been still in the OHL at the time. I forget because you start looking back on photographs like that, and like you were saying about memorable photographs, right? I did a gig one time for the NHLPA. It was pretty cool. It was the year McDavid was a rookie, and the NHLPA they have this big huge event that Upper Deck puts on every single year. So Upper Deck basically brings out all the potential superstars, whatever, and they like McDavid has a contract with Upper Deck to have exclusive cards or whatever. He signs stuff, so they literally bring them out for 2 days. They go to Ryerson University. They rent out the pad. They convert it all to this NHLPA in Upper Deck like logos, etc. And this is the day that they'll take their photographs like for their card. And the Ottawa Senators photographer Andre comes down and he takes all these like pose shots right with the back. And I was told just follow McDavid. That's all I had to do for 2 days. So wherever McDavid went, I went. And one of the most memorable photographs I have of that is behind the scenes. So we're in like, so what they do is they, like hotels at the very on the basements downtown. They had all these rooms, and the rooms had different like stations. One was like an interview a spot with the NHL. Another was where the player would go to a signage area where they would sign stuff for like an hour. They'd be signing, and they go to the other one, which was they had ping pong tables and air hockey, the bubble hockey, right?
yeah,
So I'm in a room. It's McDavid, Marner, Strom, not Strom. Who's the other kid, man? Oh, slipped my mind. Anyways, basically McDavid, Marner, and two other players who are still in the league. Jake plays in Vancouver, and they're all playing bubble hockey, and I'm just sitting there with the camera, just like taking these shots. And I saw the photograph a couple days ago, and Marner looks like a kid.
yeah.
So, but whatever, like he looks like a really young. And so did McDavid. McDavid had no beard, like clean shaven at the time, and so that was a pretty memorable shot. And I haven't been able to post it. Well, anyways, it's something that I've just kept. It's just like in the archives for now. One day maybe I'll post it, but it's actually one of those shots that I think over time is it's gonna be a pretty cool shot. Because
Absolutely.
yeah,
I'll wait for McDavid to retire in about 20 years for that photo to finally come out.
yeah, I
The
know.
retirement photo.
That's my retirement gig, taking a bunch of exclusive photographs and getting them signed by the Leafs when they eventually become really old and they all end up doing those signing days or whatever they do. Uh, that's what I'm gonna do. Just show up. Hey man, sign this for me, would you?
You
Because
see, you see Joe Thornton using this like 80s. Hey Jumbo, can you sign this photo I took of you when you're
uh,
still playing?
yeah, Jumbo man, he's he like when you get players with those types of character like the beards or whatever it may be. something that's unique. It's pretty cool taking that kind of photograph because it is like iconic of the individual almost. Like that beard. Like when did he shave it off? Like he shaved it off like last season, did he not?
Yeah, he shaved it off for like
Like
playoffs one year, and then he just started growing it back, and then it's just back to what it was again.
yeah, like it's incredible. Like you would think that would take decades to grow a beard like that, but he seems to have just done it like overnight. And I don't know, like those type of things when a player has that uniqueness, like even like Austin's mustache is
Yeah.
pretty cool, right? So any like Joe's beard's iconic. So maybe I'll get him to sign a picture of a beard one day, just his mouth and his beard, and you'll know who it is exactly when you see it. I saw, the one photograph I have is Kadri ripping off his beard.
Oh yeah.
I have it like I have a photograph of it, but I can't like share it. But it's literally it's you can see hair on the ice. And a lot of times like the fights, we take fight like we do and we don't publicize them. We don't put them out there. So we have them sort of thing, but we just don't show them. But that was the one. I remember taking a picture of the hair. I'm like, that's crazy. That's another memorable photograph. Now that I remember it.
Now a guy that we can't end this without talking about. He just played his 1768th
Oh,
NHL game all time. Patty Marleau. How special is that to shoot photos of that guy for the 2 years he spent with the Toronto Maple Leafs?
yeah, pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool, actually. I think my best Marlowe story is the Christmas party. Yeah, like they bring out Santa for the guys, and they do that. Yeah, you've probably seen that photograph.
Yeah.
That was gone all over the internet with him, Marner, and Matthews, and Santa.
Yeah.
We do the Christmas party every year, and we set up a booth, not booth, it's like lighting basically, and we take the family photos and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty funny. Man, those two guys, Marner and Matthew, love him, right? And yeah, he's stoic kind of guy. I see them, but I don't like know them.
Yeah.
But he just seems like that kind of stoic kind of guy. Like you know, he's Marlowe, man. He's a great player. Great to see. Like very photogenic, I guess. Got lots of shots of him, but I think the most memorable one is the Christmas party. That's the one I'll never forget.
Yeah, obviously Matthews and Marner were pretty close with them, and obviously Jumbo too, because Jumbo played his entire career with them up until this year. The iconic thing I love is the video that got put out the other day of Matthews and Marner, and then Jumbo's naked in the background, and Marner and
That
Matthews
was
Turner, and then they're like, "Jumbo, what the hell are you doing?" Like,
that was great. Yeah, like that once again, man. Those guys look like they're just having fun. So I mean, when they get to the ice, obviously they must, they're serious. They're professional athletes, but when off the ice, they look like they're having a great time. So that's a good sign, hopefully, that they're going to play for each other.
absolutely. Now, finally, here, Jack Campbell, 11-0 to start
Jack,
the year.
my what's it called? Yeah, he's great, man. He once again, we don't talk, like I don't talk to I don't talk to players. Like that's, like it's not my business. If they talk to me, I'll talk to them, right? Like, it's just one of those things where, like I'm there to take photographs. Like that's it. I'm not. And so Jack came into the room when he got traded, and he was photo day. Like, well, we have to do headshots, and
Yeah.
so, anyways, we have this whole setup in the back, but he came in, man, super nice guy, smiling. And they all are like, I like all the players have been great, but he was just sort of like, can I see my photograph? And he's like, hey, can I, look at it? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Mark took the photograph and showed it to him and stuff. But what a nice guy. And he, like, big smiles. I don't know, something about him, man. You just gotta love him, man. Like that, he's just like a great guy. And then I'm not sure if you guys, obviously you probably watched all those. I forgot what the hell they call them now. The YouTube channel, the Maple Leaf YouTube channel, where they do the interviews with him and Muzzin.
Yeah.
And what is he saying? It was Buddy or something like that. Oh, it's just like, it's awesome. Like, gotta love that guy. So yeah, Jack's fantastic. He even like another photograph. I'm just thinking photographs, right? The one of Jack that I have that's used quite a bit was after a game where he was given a star. It was last season, and he has this big smile. He's looking right at me. And sometimes after the games, what we'll do is go onto the actual ice. So, they'll come out of the gate. They do the loop, they throw their stick over, right? That makes for always good photographs. And he was coming back to go through the gate and exit, and I'm like down low trying to get an angle on him, and he just literally looks down and like big smile. It's just like I'm like perfect. Like there are times when you see photographs and you're like, yeah, that's it. Like that's just like that's the person who they are, almost the genuine. It's like that's like the I don't know. The essence of him is that photograph. I think is just that big smile. He's like having a great time doing whatever he loves to do. So another photograph I just remembered. There's so many photographs, man. Like I just actually before I got on here, I forget I went to Getty. I had to do something, and it's like 10,000 plus photographs I've taken over already. I'm like, holy, like I can't. Obviously, you don't remember them all, but you do remember some of them for sure.
Absolutely, and obviously Campbell, he had it rough a couple of these years in LA, and to come to Toronto and have the start he's having, it's unbelievable to see as a Leaf fan, and you feel for that guy. Like some of the interviews he's had, he's choked up, almost crying after on like TSN and stuff, and it's great
Mm-hmm.
to see it in a sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
this guy's putting it all on the line for these guys, and even when he's like not cost them games, but let in a few weak ones, he'll take responsibility right away, even if
Yeah.
it's not on him. And I mean, Leaf fans can say what they want. I mean, Morgan Riley and Hall and Buzzin, they've been questionable at times this season, and there's Campbell to defend them right away. Like he'll take responsibility on everything,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Like everyone has their days, right? And he's great. It was like he's won what he won in the last game. I'm trying to think. Yeah, he's won
Yeah,
two in a row, right? Two in a
yeah.
row.
I think he's
Bro.
12-1 at this point. Like he
Yeah,
just
he won both games in Winnipeg. So I'm like, let's hope that he just gets back to where he was. Like, obviously, the 12-game streak was crazy. That's not going to
yeah.
continue. Anyone knows that, I think, when you watch sport. But so he'll find a spot, and I'm pretty sure it's either going to be him or Freddie in net.
Yeah,
So we'll find out soon.
yeah.
So yeah, it should be interesting.
Obviously the big question for Leaf fans is what's going on with Freddie, and I mean we'll find out around playoffs, obviously, and I know he's skating again, so I mean that's going to be a good sign. So hopefully, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's great to see that Campbell got his chance. It's unfortunate what happened to Freddie. I mean, could we have been in the same spot with Freddie? I believe so, but it's just great to see
hmm.
Campbell, who's sat there for the longest time, right, as a backup to Freddie. He gets his chance
Hmm.
now, and he just goes 11-0 to start his season. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I was with Freddie. Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm not sure if he skated today with the team, but I know he's been hanging out with it. I know he's on the road trip. He
yeah,
was on the road trip. I think, what is it, tomorrow night they're in Montreal, and then Thursday night they're Vancouver.
yeah. So they,
Yeah, play
uh,
back to back.
yeah, they got those games, and then I mean,
Yeah.
Freddie was on the ice today. I don't think he's been practicing with the team, but he's getting at least ice time before practice. Like I know Matthews has been out there with them a couple times, and I think Jumbo's shot on him a couple of times and stuff. So
Yeah,
obviously
I'm sure.
he's still around the guys. So that's obviously a huge boost for him because I
Oh
know at one point he wasn't skating for like 2 weeks, and because it was his choice to kind of take it off because his knee wasn't feeling the greatest. But
yeah.
it's great to see him finally back in the uniform again, and hopefully
Yeah.
return for playoffs in a couple weeks. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna be it's hard to say who they're gonna play right now because a week or two ago
Yeah.
you could say, hey, like you could be playing the Montreal Canadiens, and now Calgary's right there, and look what Vancouver's doing. Vancouver still has like
Uh,
15 games left, and they're right there too. Like it's gonna be
yeah. Well, I'm sure they're handling like the Leafs are tier one organization through and through. Like they're great. Even like anyways, I'm pretty sure they're handling Freddie just perfectly. They know exactly what they're doing. Like those guys, like super pros. Everything I've seen about the Leafs from top to bottom is professional beyond. So hopefully they can just wrap this up with a nice parade of some sort.
love
So
what every fan's on Zoom just celebrating the Stanley Cup win in a couple months when
oh,
you can't gather.
sometimes I sit there and I just imagine, what would it be like, parade? Because this year, obviously, might not be the best year to win, but who cares? I really don't care if they win. Like it'd be nice just to win. But I just think about like how many fans in the street, that
Yeah.
kind of organic celebration. Because you can't, if imagine the Leafs were to win.
Oh yeah.
crazy the celebration would be, and you're trying to tell people to stay home. Like, I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, like
Uh, so I'm just like, and I'm just thinking, like, then you start thinking, like, one of the cool things that when you're in down low at Scotiabank Center, they have a lot of old photographs on the wall, like when you go to the meeting room and stuff like that. And they got all these like black and white photographs of the last time they've won the cup. And you just sit there and you're like, wow, like if they win, man, like what's that photograph? What's the it photograph? Well, like I'm just, who's gonna, like, what's it gonna look like? Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be like a moment with Marner hugging the cup? Like you always think, what picture will make that wall? That'd be pretty cool. So it's just like you hope that a picture, like it doesn't have to be mine, obviously. Anyone from the photo team would be great. But you just hope that it happens, man. It'd be great to have a photograph down there. It'd
oh
be
yeah, sure.
fantastic.
And I mean, you look back
Yeah.
to a couple of years ago when the Raptors won 2 million people downtown Toronto for their parade. What's it
Mhm.
gonna be like? Like, is the entire city of Toronto is gonna get shut down if the Leafs win a cup this year? And I don't think COVID or not, they're
Yeah.
not gonna stop it. Like those guys are gonna want to party with the fans. It's gonna be insane. Like that city's gonna be shut down for like 2 3 days because the
Yeah.
crowd's gonna be partying like no tomorrow. Like I remember
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
getting into like I'm not like a huge basketball guy, but getting into the Raptors kind of over the years and like I mean had some moments where as a fan you're crying in your house when they lose series like against Boston and stuff, and then when they win that championship against Golden State. And I went to the parade and it's like there's 2 million people here that are here to celebrate a sports team winning a championship, and it's
Wow.
unbelievable. Like the crowd was insane at that, and seeing all the guys up on the stage and being so happy, like Kawhi, Serge, all those guys, like
Yeah.
Lowry, who's going to be one of the greatest Raptors of all time, if not, like, just
Mhm.
look what's going to happen with the Leafs this year. You got Matthews, Marino, Jumbo, and his one of his last years in the league. Just go out with the cup. It'd be insane.
Yeah. I was actually at the game for the Kawhi one, the
Oh yeah,
Kawhi buzzer beater. That's pretty cool.
yeah. That's one of. I mean, that's going to be the second greatest sports moment in Toronto history when the Leafs win the cup this year. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, man. I think they got the team. I think they got the pieces. Let's just, kind of break. You need a little bit of luck, obviously. Luck's always a good thing to have.
now
So
here's a great one:
what's up?
Kawhi Leonard shot versus a Joe Thornton Stanley Cup goal. What shot are you taking?
No, I take the Joe Thornton, man.
Oh
Any
yeah,
day of the week.
yeah,
Kawhi is a great moment, but yeah, as a Canadian, man, like through and through Canadian, NBA is a bigger,
yeah.
like from a photo, like, okay, if you're talking photography, like like on the grander scale of the world, like the NBA is a juggernaut, right? If you're like, that would be the photograph, I guess, because NBA is huge. It's massive numbers. But as a Canadian, man, I care. Yeah, Joe Thornton any day of the week, man.
Yeah,
Like I
you
don't.
gotta take the jumbo one because I mean,
Yeah,
Kawhi will take it like Game 7 against the 76ers to get them the championship. That was unbelievable. Like
yeah,
Raptors fans were going nuts, but I can't imagine what it would be like, especially in Scotiabank Arena, if there were fans for that. If Joe Thornton scored a Stanley Cup goal, like that would
yeah. That's
it'd be
sort of
insane.
it's. Yeah, there's like that bittersweetness of thinking of the Leafs winning. It's like empty stadium. Oh, that would hurt.
Oh yeah, that would
That would hurt.
like it's
Because
even
obviously being there for playoff games and seeing like that moment, like I described before, when Matthew scores and the fans go crazy. Like it's the tension. You can feel it. Every single, shot on net is like, ooh, you can hear them. And it's quite interesting. Like sometimes you take your cue off the fans a little bit when you're like photographing. Like a lot of times it's tunnel vision. You're looking down to the ice and you're just focusing on the shot. But you can hear almost anticipation, like something big's gonna happen. And I don't know, it just helps you like sort of zone in on like the winning that moment, right? The celebration, the jubo, whatever you want to call it. And it makes for a better picture when you see a lot of people in the background just going crazy. It's always fun to look at faces in the background, right? So anyways, yeah, empty stands, man, it would hurt a little bit, but I'd still take the W though.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, obviously, the crowd noise getting pumped in this year. I don't know what it's like in the
Terrible.
bank, but in on TV, it's like 3 seconds behind. Like they just
Yeah,
on net, and then the crowd goes nuts. It's like, all right, like you're celebrating a shot on net. Like you're not getting
it throws me
20,000.
off too,
Yeah,
because
you're
because
not getting
I
20.
had the side view, right, of the net,
Yeah,
and I'm looking down. Sometimes, like depending on the situation, I might look at the actual, like I might focus in on the goaltender and sort of frame it so that if anything like a tip or something happens, I'm gonna get hopefully the puck, the goalie, the player, and then hopefully some celebration. Uh, but those shots from the point always like they don't like. I'm not gonna say they don't make good pictures, but I don't know. Like I like the ones in the front with the tip and the guys put up their hands because the guy who shoots from the point, you can never guess it. Like you just
yeah,
if you're focusing on him, like it's just like I find everything like there's more action in front. And anyways, with the fan thing though, if he scores, I don't get there's no response.
yeah,
But before it would be bang, people go crazy. I start swinging the camera or whatever my lens looking for whoever's celebrating, and I might be able to pick them off and get them. But now it's like by the time the person puts up his hands, and then that delay and that
yeah,
sound, the piped in sound, fan sound, it's like the person's already got their hands down. I'm like, I'm screwed.
yeah. Like you
Like
got,
there goes the moment. I didn't get it.
yeah.
Right.
On the TV side, watching from home, they got it. Like they'll celebrate, but like it's like 3 seconds too late, and you're not having 20,000 fans jump up on their feet when Joe Thornton takes a shot
Mhm.
from the circle and it's a glove save. Like no one's going that
Yeah.
hype for a shot like that. Like
Hmm.
it's obviously gotta be tough, but um,
Yeah, it would be pretty sweet. Joe, yeah, Joe scoring would be pretty
oh
sweet, man. He's like dying for a cup.
yeah,
So yeah, him, oh yeah. Even Felino. Felino's
oh
history
yeah,
with his dad's pretty cool.
yeah,
I was in high school at the time when the last time the Leafs played like with his dad for the
yeah,
push. And I mean, that was huge. I mean, like we had prom and people were coming in the game. I think game 6 was the night that they got eliminated was the our prom night, and people were tuxedos, Leaf shirts underneath. Like nobody, like someone brought a TV, people were watching the game, right? So yeah, I can imagine the anticipation for this playoff series coming up. It's gonna be interesting.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we've kept you for long enough here, Kevin.
Yep.
So we look forward to seeing that Stanley Cup photo you take in a few months
Yeah,
down the road inside the bubble or whatever situation with the playoffs
like
is.
this.
But yeah, cross your fingers. Let's
Cross my
not get
fingers, man.
Jumbo Joe goalie, Austin Matthews or someone's getting the cup winning goal for the Leafs this year.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So thanks again to Kevin
Yeah,
Sousa for
no
your
problem,
time,
man.
and appreciate chatting hockey with you today.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.